Welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck.
It is not. Still starting my morning every day
with Dirty Duck
Nice
Coffee.
cup of the duck.
Did you have the Missouri boat ride? Is what you've been drinking?
Yes, the Missouri boat ride. It's the only coffee. Had coffee in Mexico, and it tasted like shit. I just gotta I don't know how that would work because I think drug smugglers, don't they put like cocaine and wrap it up in coffee?
Yes.
I think I'd just be asking for problems.
It
would just be better if I could just suck it up on vacation.
The Mexican coffee, usually I absolutely love, but since COVID, it doesn't taste the same to me. But Dirty Duck, that Missouri boat ride,
sure,
tastes really good for some reason, but it works really good.
Yeah. We need to get him up here and get him on the podcast. He wants to do it in person. So,
yes.
We need to get that going eventually.
That's in Jeff's corner, so Jeff will take care of that.
That's in Jeff's corner.
All right. This is Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Oh, we've not done that yet?
We are at the Big Honker Lodge. We are back from vacation. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about everything from politics to our vacation, and we're going to start with our vacation. We went to Mexico. We went to Cancun on the first Big Honker podcast trip. Had over 20 people. It was a great time. We had a good time. Stayed at Planet Hollywood. A beautiful, beautiful resort. The trip to get to Cancun for us was hard.
I didn't think we were going to get there.
No, Blake got engaged.
Congratulations, Blake and
Emily. So we had to pick up a ring. The original plan was we were flying out of Dallas Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Tony was going to drive to Dallas on Wednesday earlier than us. He was going to meet Steve Barber, pick up Blake's ring, and we were going to catch a flight, go have dinner that night, catch a flight. We were not going to leave till about 7 o'clock.
Right.
And we were going to leave Knox City about 7 o'clock, drive to Dallas, catch flight Thursday morning. Well, Mother Nature decided we needed another after-goose season winter storm.
In January, when this was all coming to be, I said, I hope it is a nasty motherfucker here, and I say arrivederci as we fly off on the plane. Little did I know, that's the one wish that I get.
Yep, of all of them. You couldn't ask for shit in November.
Couldn't ask for $1 million. Couldn't ask for, a long dong or anything like that. But by golly, I asked for snow in February.
You better clarify that long dong thing. You're talking about your own long dong and not someone else giving you one.
Oh, yeah. Why would I want somebody else's long dong?
When you talk to a genie and you ask for things, you got to be specific.
You got to be very specific. Okay.
So,
yeah, evidently I'm specific enough.
So we on Wednesday morning, my phone rings from Jesse, and they had changed our flight. Had moved it back. And they moved it back again. And I told her, I said, oh, don't worry about it. We're leaving at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's not supposed to really get below freezing, but like to 31. We'll be fine in Dallas. Within an hour.
Boy, were you wrong.
It was 25 degrees in Dallas, and it was sleeting, and people were wrecking everywhere. Got to the lodge. I think we did a podcast there. So I just had stuff to do before we could get out of town, and they canceled our flight.
Yep.
So I was like, I said, we'll just see. We'll just play it by ear. We got a room down there. We'll drive down there for the night, spend the night, and we'll see what happens. Well, Tony got on his phone and found us a flight out of Houston for Thursday at noon. I said, book that son of a bitch.
Book it.
So we booked it. We told the women, let's go. Michelle is not the easiest person to screw up her times because she's never early, ever. So I called her and I said, you got 45 minutes. So we can hit the road, so Harry's not going to get back at 5 o'clock in the morning if he doesn't want to spend the night. We got home. I hadn't packed yet. It takes me 15 minutes to pack. Loaded everything up. Took my dive bomb bags. Excellent. I'm telling you right now, that dive bomb waterproof backpack is what I used for luggage, and I use their blind bag all the time. And I took that backpack with me on our catamaran cruise. perfect. Highly recommend it for you. Anyways, got on a plane, drove all night to Houston, got to Houston, got on the airplane, and we ended up in Cancun at 8:30.
Yes.
On Thursday night. We were supposed to be there at 11 o'clock, so we missed out on one whole day.
Well, half a day.
I'm tell you what, I got enough sun to last me. I'm glad I lost out on 1 day of sun.
Yeah, and, well, I don't know. Because the first night, everybody's all jazzed up. They're happy to see each other, and I was fucking whipped. Like, I couldn't enjoy the first night.
Well, that's because it was a dog fight to get down there Wednesday.
8 hours on the road Wednesday, and then all the shit on getting there to the flight. Like, I was toast. Everybody's ready to turn up, and I'm like, guys, whew.
For anybody that hasn't traveled out of the country since all this COVID shit, the hardest part is having to do the COVID test to get back into the United States, which I don't think that's going to be happening much longer. So that probably won't be a problem come summertime. But that's the biggest issue is you take a test at your hotel, and then you got to have the paperwork. But I didn't think coming in and out of the country was that hard.
No, No, customs was easy to get through and a lot better than customs in fucking Canada of my one time.
Yeah, you're on the no-flight zone.
Yeah. But overall, it was a great trip. Blake and them got engaged, and big move for old Blake Poppe. Did it on the Isle of Mujeres, however the fuck you pronounce it.
The most beautiful place I think I've been to in this country. Absolutely white sands, beautiful water. If you go to Cancun, I've seen it. We've been to Cancun a dozen times, and I've seen that sign. You go over there, and I've never done it. And
that was your first time.
That's the first time I've been over there, and we stayed 5 miles. It was 5 miles off of out of our hotel because we were way on the north end of Cancun.
But let me tell you, the catamaran over, they mix their drinks a little bit stouter than at the resort.
You know what's funny about
that?
We rented our own boat. We had our own boat.
Yep. Blake did it for us.
No.
We had to reimburse him. But he booked it.
But no, Blake didn't either.
Oh,
Salami did.
Yeah.
Little girl from Ethiopia. She's going to be on our podcast with us in a couple weeks. Boy, hell of a story. Anyways, we went over we stayed in Cancun. We went over to the island. It's beautiful. They sold me some fucked up tequila. So I'm telling you right now, for the next person that goes to Isle of Mujeres, however you pronounce that shit, as soon as you get off the boat, you walk down a dock, and it's just like any going to a national park. You got to exit through the gift shop. Mm-hmm. Well, they exit you into a tequila shop. After the people on the boat have already mixed up, I was the only person that didn't have a drink on the boat. We walk in the deal, and they're giving tequila samples. They had peanut butter tequila, which was very good, and they had coconut tequila, which was very good. It was white, creamy. So last night, Michelle wanted to give Zach and Shelby a taste of this coconut tequila. She poured it, and it was clear as hell. So they sold me some shit different than what they gave me on the fucking
sold
island.
You like Malibu or something.
Whatever the hell they did. It was
coconut rum.
It was not coconut tequila that they sold me in the gift shop, but it was very good, whatever they give us in the tequila at the gift shop. I think next time we go there, I'm going to rent a house on that island.
$350 is what it cost me to walk out of that joint. 2 bottles of tequila and cigars.
Cost me $240 for 2 bottles of tequila.
Well, it cost me $240 for 2 bottles of tequila, but I bought the cigars.
Then,
are we still like no good with Cuba?
I think you can have I think you can have Cuban cigars now.
Can you?
I think so.
Well, listen, I don't want to say that's what I bought just in case they're illegal.
Oh no, well you smoked them there, so it didn't matter. Oh, did you bring some back home with you?
Let's say I smoked them
I think
all
you can bring them back, though, because I bought... If they sell them to you, they also sold them to you in the airport. They didn't have them in the airport?
They did not.
Then you should have... You contraband, Andy.
I didn't contraband
Pure contraband.
Shit.
That's what it is.
I need to go to DuckDuckGo. That way they don't track my...
I'm embarrassed that you did not offer to buy Blake a bottle of wine before you left that night.
What do you mean?
Blake was getting people to send him money, and he was not asking for it. So he just kept buying wine at this all-inclusive resort. Well, last time I went to an all-inclusive, everything was all-inclusive. I spent more money this time at an all-inclusive joint than I have the 20 previous trips combined when I had to leave. Most times I leave, I never even owe a dime. I bought a $180 bottle of Brut champagne for Blake. When I got my bill, I was shocked. Then we stopped in Wichita Falls and got gas on the way home. They sold the same bottle in the damn store. I was like, boy, they fucked me down there on that.
Gotcha.
Anyways, it was a great trip. The funnest part of the whole trip outside of our group was we were flying home, and I've never seen anybody get kicked off of an airplane before in my life. We flew back on Spirit Airlines, and I'm going to tell you, folks, if you fly nonstop, Spirit is a really good airline to fly. It's cheap, and it gets you where you want to go. If you're relying on them to connect you somewhere else, you're always going to miss your fucking flight. Everybody on our damn flight was missing flights because they were running behind as usual. This time we're running behind because two little hotties got on there drunk. They were
showing their nipples,
and they showed their nipples to someone.
I miss all the good shit.
Me too. You know, Tony, he was been volunteered to sit with them. Man.
I miss Tony humping on the floor in the nightclub. I miss the nipples coming out.
What was that about?
I don't know. You got to ask your brother, Jeff. It's not me.
I don't understand. But anyways, these two gals and this other one, they had the ugly friend too, and she was a straight sober one too, and she was really trying to get on these girls. These girls were freaking hammered, had their ass cheeks hanging out of their shorts. They had on some little 70s tops.
Once again, nobody's casting stones.
Well, I don't think nobody complained.
It's what they wanted to wear.
Except for the women in the back that obviously they showed some nipples to somebody in the back.
Yep.
And so before the flight got off, they showed their nipples.
Intentionally, like not, they weren't, it didn't just Janet Jackson.
They pulled them down and showed it to them. So some people volunteered to move away from them. Well, Tony was like wanting to volunteer to move sit next to them, I'm sure, after that. So they moved some people around. Me and Michelle are on the front row. We got the first class seats on Spirit, the $50 extra ones. Highly recommend those. And I can see out my window, and I can see down the walkway from the as you get on the plane. And I look down there, and there's a Mexican soldier and another lady, and they got guns and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? They got some paperwork. I'm like, oh shit, they're fixing to throw somebody's ass off this fucking airplane. Hope it ain't me. Mm-hmm. They talk to a guy, and a lady security officer comes in and talks to the stewardess guy. The stewardess guy. And he says, hold on just a minute. And another guy goes back in the back, and they talk to the girls. They come back. He goes, it's your call. He goes, but it's on you if something happens. He goes, man, I just hate to throw them off here. He said, if they do, he said, where are they going to stay? How are they going to get back home? These girls were lucky they didn't get thrown off. So these little hot mamas were showing their nipples. They got to fly. We got to customs. They were the last people to come through customs, and they were fucking eating and drinking, walking through there. I'll bet you they had some more problems when they went through customs.
Oh, I'm sure they got a nasty little talking to by the head steward. He's not a stewardess. He's a steward. This says Cuban cigars are illegal in the United States. So thank God I did not bring any of those home. That would have sucked.
Good move for you, Andy. Anyways, that's the basis of our trip to Mexico. It was a good trip. We had a good time. We appreciate everybody that's come and joined with us. Congratulations to Blake and Emily. Met a lot of good friends. I really enjoyed hanging out with Trevor Austin.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Trevor and Holly are such good people. I mean, God, we had so much fun with them.
Haley?
Yep. One's Hallie. That's Logan's is Hallie, and the other one's Haley. Okay. God dang it, Haley's. What a fun trip. Class act people, Pacific calls, man, good time. We had a blast together. He stays out later than I do at nighttime.
Yeah, he gives her hell.
And he gets up early every morning.
Yeah, he does. First day there, he said he was up at like 6:30, which is like 4:30. No, he was up at 7:30, which is, I don't know, rewind the clock, wherever the fuck they are. 5:30 in the morning, his local time. That was the first day there. He said he had a lot of work to do. Got up, did it. When I got away from the Big Honker podcast, I was away. I did all my shit ahead of time. That way I didn't want to have to be fucking with anything down there.
Kind of like Tony. When Tony leaves here, he's off.
What do you mean?
I work down there.
Oh, well, I had all my work done.
Well, I understand. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's the same with Tony, too. When we leave the Big Honker Lodge, he's done off.
Yeah, but he doesn't do a lot of work so that he doesn't have to. I did all my work fucking during the ice storm.
Well, I did, too.
Praying to God that we were going to get out of there.
Let's talk about things in the world now. That was just kind of a synopsis of our trip. Did you watch the State of the Union address last night?
What I could listen to, yeah.
I didn't watch any of it.
He was it was tough to listen to, I tell you.
Does he ramble?
Yeah, and I don't know, it was tough. What pisses me off is, like, he said the same shit Trump said, and he gets a standing ovation.
From the Democrats.
From everybody, because he's saying a lot of shit the Republicans agree with. We have to fund the police. We don't need to defund, we need to fund. Well,
when he was running for president, it was the complete opposite of that.
Well, and Kamala Harris has said that they needed to defund the police. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi said that they needed to defund the police, and they were the first ones to stand up. It's just like, wait a second. 6 months ago, we were all in on the train of defunding the police, but now all of a sudden the polls are shifted, and we need to spend more money on training.
They're in big trouble.
Which I agree with.
Yep,
like I said,
they're in big trouble though. They know it because the people know. People have caught on to their shit. You know what the big conspiracy is today? the last thing he said was, "Get him off there or get him out of there."
He's go get him.
Go get him. Go get him.
Go get him.
Go get him. Okay, you know what that was? Now they're saying that was.
Go get him. Go.
Yeah.
Like,
go
get
go,
after.
Go. No. They were telling him to get Biden. Go get Biden. That's what it meant.
What?
That was he had an earpiece on.
Oh, right.
And someone said, "Go get him," and that's what he said. Go get him. Why would you end the speech with "Go get him" with that? And that was the end of it.
I thought it was just like.
No, that's the story. I have no idea. I didn't watch the shit. I ain't watched any sound bites of it. I don't know, but that's what I was reading this morning.
This is it.
Look at Nancy goofy ass.
Damn. What happened? Oh, fuck around. What'd I do?
These dumbass turned the TV off.
I hit the wrong fucking button. Right at the end, too. Like, Jesus.
I want to see it now that
Well,
you did
so
that
do
already.
I, Jeff. Hold your fucking horses. Got Harry knocking down chairs. I'm hitting the wrong button.
Where'd Tony go? The supply house again?
Oh, fuck. Of course it's over now.
No, we got to watch an ad.
No, I can fix it.
All you got to do is skip the ad.
I'm trying, Jeff. I'm trying to get my fucking cursor over there.
I think they're right.
I don't know.
Go get him? Who the fuck would he be talking about?
I think he was trying to say go get him.
Huh? No. I think they're
think
right.
so?
Fuck no. He's got an earpiece in.
I understand he's got a
No, and they said
Number
in that
one, why
earpiece-
would they give his old senile ass like a two-way? Like he should just be hearing stuff. Like why would they? Why would they? I understand.
He was hearing what they said. They
I know,
probably,
but he
everybody
should
heard
have
it.
one voice in his head.
Yeah, and the guy,
Not seven.
Oh well, the whoever said go get him was probably Barack Obama, and he's like go get him before he fucks this up like more. Anyways, I saw where his polls numbers went down again overnight.
Really?
They're so anti-American. They hate us. They hate success. They're killing our country. There's nothing they can do that's like Jen Psaki come out. You know, she's a spokesperson. She answers the questions. Biden don't ever talk to nobody, and he, you know, and that's not a good thing. But she come out and said, what we mean is we don't want us here in the country to produce more oil. We want to go more green energy. It's okay for other countries to cause pollution, but we don't want to do it here in America, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we green energy's not working. I saw gas today's $4 a gallon almost down in Knox City.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I mean, it's getting where you really need to. Tony's going to have to start taking down his 10 trips to town a day.
No shit. Spending $1,000 on gas.
Yeah.
He said something else, and I'm trying to find what he said. He fucked up.
He said about Iranians
Yes,
instead of
yes.
Ukrainians. We're not gonna. We need to. Russia is doing this and this and that, and we got a prayer for the Iranian people.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Ukrainian. The guy is an empty suit. Everybody knows it. Everybody that listens to this podcast knows it. Our problem is those fuckers in Washington, D.C. on both sides. I saw Mitt Romney's smiling ass come walking in. Someone needs to slap the fuck out of that bastard also. That's our problem right there is those guys, they're untouchable. They live in gated communities. They live in a world outside of everybody else's. They flip down a plastic card everywhere they go and they pay for everything. Everything is covered by that card wherever they go to. They write checks that they don't have to worry about if it's covered or not. They have so much money. They get rich, and they've been bought and they've sold us out.
Yeah.
And now
That's pretty much it.
And until we take back that shit, this is going to continue to happen. The best thing could have happened last night if he exterminated every son of a bitch in that damn that building last night. Everybody. And started over.
Or just recalled them.
That ain't never going to happen.
Because
until every one of them is gone, it ain't going to make no difference. The head of the FBI, the head of the CIA, the DOJ, every one of them are all in on this shit.
Yeah.
It's just a big fuck, and they're fucking America, and they just continue to do it over and over and over again, and until we wipe all that shit out, it's just going to continue to happen. Because what happens is there's someone that's going to get elected in November that's going to be freshman up there that's brand new, and they're going to get indoctrinated into the same shit in 20 years from now, they're still going to be in Washington, D.C. doing the same shit that the people that we're getting rid of,
well, we need to get rid of lobbyists.
We do.
That would be.
But we ought to make it illegal for insider trading. So if you run for Congress, you should not be able to, or your spouse, or a foundation you're a part of, or a trust, should not be able to be in the stock market at all. You should be able to put your money in a CD. What the government ought to do is they say, I tell you what we're going to do. We've got a CD over here. It's going to pay 5% interest.
Right.
And as a congressman or whatever, you can stick your hundreds of millions of dollars that you fucked everybody out of already, and you can put it in that, and we're going to pay you 5% on it. And that's the only thing you get to invest in. You don't get to invest in anything else at all. And if you get caught doing some insider trading, we're going to pull your fucking toenails out of you, and then we're going to shoot you right between the fucking eyeballs. And that's what they should do. But we're not going to fix things until we get serious about fixing shit. Until the American people, they're scared to death. They're building another wall around the fucking White House.
Yeah.
We never needed it before. Why did we have the president that was the most hated, they say, in Trump, that we didn't have to worry about that? He was out on the lawn every day talking to people and shit. But now we've got this president that 81 million people voted for, and they keep pushing you further and further away because they know it's not right.
Has he taken questions at all during his presidency?
He can't, because he can't answer them. And if they do, it's a predetermined questions and shit.
He knows what questions are coming
and they got that little voice in his deal. Take his fucking ear deals out and let him talk. You know, I saw a video of him today, I guess, or yesterday. He was talking, and the reporter asked him about how he can be a Catholic and be for abortion. And he's like, well, I just hate to tell someone they could blah, blah. And Jill comes walking up to him and grabs him, and let's go. It's the president of the fucking United States.
Right.
He ought to be able to fucking answer some questions. And that's the problem we have. But we've just accepted it because our media is false too. You know, we don't have a real media anymore. If they do, why does Twitter, put it this way, think about this. Putin has a Twitter account, but Donald Trump has been kicked off. You know?
Are you going to join Donald Trump's Truth social media?
Yes, I'm going to.
I thought it was out already. It's people prepaid or some shit?
No, they've gotten some bugs are still working out, but yes, I'm going to when it happens.
Truth Media.
Yeah. I mean, they have.
How much do you think he's going to make off of that?
Oh, I don't know. They have slowed down our Facebook pages.
Yes, but
everything that we have has been slowed down, I've noticed, because we're not on their side.
Well, we had a lot of strikes against our closed Facebook group, and then that's the main thing that's
right. But all the strikes are shit that everybody's laughing about.
Well, there were some memes and stuff, but yeah, I mean,
it should be a platform. Facebook is not a public deal. I mean, it's not a private; it's a public company. It's publicly traded. But it's still not our own stuff. But they need to let you do what you want to do. The sad thing is if it was on the opposite side and you had shit, they wouldn't do nothing about it.
Right.
That's what's crazy. You know, ever hear about a liberal being shut down on anything?
And I mean, I didn't. So we got several, but anyway, got a warning. It said the next strike you get, basically like, nobody's going to see things that are posted in here. It's going to limit engagement. And
they've done that.
It fucking throttled her way on back. So it is what it is.
Mom was telling me, a guy she went to school with that I'm friends with on Facebook too, but I don't see much of his stuff ever. He made a post on there about how fucked up Biden has made this world right now that we live in. You know, everything costs so much, this, that, you know, and all this stuff. And, of course, the two dumb fucks that graduated from Knox City that are liberals that grew up over here are both talking about how great it is. Is that a dog?
Probably Ollie.
Is Ollie outside? Or is that him whining? Let's see if he needs out. He might need out. Anyways, they asked about, and one of them talked about, well, the world is so much better than it was when Trump was in office. What fucking world do they live in?
Maybe they're in the oil and gas industry.
No, they're not.
Oh, well.
Even the people in the oil and gas industry right now don't want.
Listen, they shouldn't be bitching too much. Oil's over fucking $100 a barrel. They can pump the brakes.
I'm sure they're not the ones that. Well, they're sure they are bitching though.
What are they bitching
see
about?
Fuck you. There's no groceries anywhere. Yeah. You got to wait in line everywhere. If
you love money,
they do, but they had a lot of money before.
They got more money.
They're making money now, but they're still not making what they did 10 years ago when it was $130 a barrel. But
it'll get there.
It'll probably go to $200 a barrel.
Probably. I should have bought oil last year when it was $0.
But
they were giving it away.
How much? What's it going to take for people on the left, and a lot of people on the left have left the left, to realize things are horrible? You go to grocery stores and there's empty shelves everywhere, and we still can't get an answer why. It's like, well, you know, it's because of all the cargo in China. When did they start making fucking pasta in China?
Well, I mean, evidently, aren't they still backed up in the harbors? Isn't
I don't
that what it
think
is?
a lot of our groceries don't come from overseas. I'm not saying some of them don't. But when you go down the aisle, you see...
Maybe the truckers are doing something that we don't know about.
That just something's fucked up out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the answer is.
The supply chain has been broken. It's going to take a while.
It's getting worse.
To get things back up and running.
It is getting worse. There's less groceries on the shelves now than there were a year ago.
Well, the supply chain was just breaking.
So now that we took all the masks off, the supply chain should be back to normal now?
It's fully broken.
No,
what do you mean?
Well, there's no mask mandates no more.
Right.
They come out yesterday. We're not going to be a mask.
Is this including schools also?
The schools in California I saw starting today didn't have to wear a mask.
Oh, good.
Monday and Tuesday they did because it was still real bad, but on Wednesday it was good.
Good.
But what is it? What will it take to get things halfway back to normal? And I don't have an answer for it, but I know that our government is not helping things at all.
I don't even know what the problem is, so I definitely don't have an answer.
I'm with you there. That's what I don't get it either. I mean, we just came back from a third world country, and they're obviously having labor problems also.
Right.
They didn't have no fucking limes and bananas.
Yep.
I don't know how the fuck you ran out of limes and bananas in Mexico.
Well, they only have avocados down in Mexico.
But there's something amiss in our world right now.
Sure.
And it was COVID for a while.
Right.
Now, is it COVID still the problem?
Probably so. The supply chain's broken, Jeff. It takes a minute. You can't just get the supply chain back up and running. I really wish that we could see. We need Twitter was so much better place with Trump on it. It was entertaining.
It was.
He would have been just peppering him last night.
I used to like to watch him talk, and I liked the questions he would get because he didn't back down. He would ask people, even the Costas, he would ask them what's going on. I would love for us to have the president ask some real questions because there's a lot of answers about things. What's going on in Ukraine? Do you trust what's going on in Ukraine? Do you trust what the media tells us? I don't. I don't know really what's going on over there. Do you?
I'm not over there.
I mean, either. But any other time when we had a conflict anywhere, I could turn the media on and kind of tell you what's going on.
Like Kamala said, Ukraine is a small country.
Yeah.
Russia's a big country. Russia invaded the small country, which is bad, and we don't like it.
Okay. What do you think's going on over there?
Well, I just told you, Jeff.
Okay, but you don't have a clue either, do you?
Putin is on a warpath to get the motherland back together.
He wants Ukraine because of the gas and all the natural resources.
He's not worried about that.
That's what it's about.
He wants the empire back.
Okay.
So that's why he's going after the Ukraine. That's why he went after Crimea.
I understand all that. I'm asking you, what do you think is really going on? Because I really don't know because I don't trust our media. I know that there's a conflict going on over there. And I know the Ukrainians are fighting and standing up. And I walked through the room last night when Joe Biden was talking, and he was talking about being able to build a gun at home.
With no serial numbers. Ghost guns.
Ghost guns. And I'm thinking, you're telling us we don't need guns in America, and in fucking Ukraine they've got more soldiers and they got guns now, and they need more guns. Well, the reason we have AR-15s and AR-10s here and all this shit is because of what's going on in Ukraine, because your ass can't pull the same shit they're pulling on Ukraine on us.
But let me tell you, I do feel a lot better about our standing in the world. Seeing how long it's taken Russia to overtake Ukraine, I'm feeling a lot better about our odds.
It's
gone on a week.
Someone told me that's in the know, said, Jeff, our military is so much more advanced than both China and Russia's. It's equivalent to us fighting them in 1960 with what they have compared to what we have.
Oh.
So we are so much more further advanced than they are. That in our they've got a lot of numbers. Russia probably has 3 times more people in their army than we do, and it may be 10 times more. I don't know, but the technology is so much further advanced. We are isolated from everybody. They said they said that if someone saw a model that showed if the U.S. went to war against the world and the world combined all their forces, we still
have a shot.
It wouldn't even be close, they said. We are so much more advanced than the rest of the world is. You saw the Mexican Navy over there, didn't you?
No.
You didn't see that Mexican boat, the Navy boat that was
Oh. When we were in Mexico?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it looked like the gunboats that the highway patrol in Texas have that's on Lake Falcon or Amistad look better than what they have for equipment.
Right.
So it's not even close. So yes, you had thought Russia would just walk into Ukraine and wipe it out in 3 days.
Yeah, I thought it would. I legitimately thought so. Like, we were leaving when all shit was hitting the fan, and I was like, I don't know what world we're gonna live in when we get back. But like, we get back and turn on the news, and like, it looks like the Ukraine is holding its own up against Russia.
Yeah, they said they had 100,000 people signed up the first couple of hours to be fight, and they ran out of weapons.
Really?
Yep.
I did see like Miss Ukraine is fighting over there. The Klitschko brothers are in that the boxers?
Boxer guys.
And
then Steven Seagal, he's fighting with the Russians.
Steven Seagal, he's on the Russian side, so the high intelligence agencies have seen Steven Seagal over there. How old is Steven Seagal?
Oh, he's got to be 50-something.
He's older than that. I bet he's in his 60s.
Well, he ain't going to be. He's not going to do much.
You don't think so?
No, I don't really think it really matters.
Born in 52. Spit it out, Jeff.
Born in 52. It's 2022.
69.
Yeah, 70 years old.
He's almost 70, and he's fighting in a war.
Well, he's over there. Who knows what he's doing?
Well, he's Jeff.
I saw where dipshit liberal Sean Penn was walking with the Ukrainians. He was in Ukraine, and now he's got stranded, so he had to walk with them out.
You think he dyes his beard?
Yes. If he's 70 years old and he looks like that, yes.
And his hair, probably?
Yes, both of them.
Yeah, I never was a big Steven Seagal fan anyway.
He had one movie I liked where he was on a boat, and I can't remember the name of it, and they were...
Oh, fuck, what is that? Steven Seagal accused of raping Mormon teen he met on blank. Page 6.
Anyways,
Keep him, Russia.
I'm not a big fan of his anyway, so I really could care less.
Now, oh, look at that hair. That is just terrible.
That's Wayne Newton looking hair right there.
Oh, my goodness. Steven, you're not fooling anybody. I wish it would. Oh, my gosh. That's bad.
Yes.
Remember when he pretended to be like a police officer in Louisiana?
I think it was Arizona.
No, it was Louisiana.
Okay. I thought it was Arizona.
No, it was Louisiana. He doesn't look bad. I mean, for being 70, like, he doesn't look terrible.
I don't understand these guys that just be gray and white. Look at, like, I'm not into dudes at all, and I don't ever say a guy's an attractive guy or nothing like that. I let you young guys say that. But you take a guy, Sean Connery. He was gray-headed and white-haired.
Yeah.
Did he look bad because of that? No.
Like, he doesn't even have, like, a smattering of, like, like a streak or anything. It's just fucking jet black. Yeah, he was a lawman. Steven,
yeah,
I think that's what it was.
I think it was in Louisiana. I mean, Arizona, though.
No.
Yeah.
What was it called? Lawman? I think that's what it was called.
Oh, I thought you in real life.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a peace officer. He didn't like put hands on anybody. Thank God for those people. But
if you go up to the top, you went over. It'll tell you what it's about.
He was in some parish. In Steven Seagal.
Jefferson Parish. You are right. I was wrong. There you go. I thought
Where's
it was in
Jefferson
Arizona.
Parish at?
In Louisiana.
Obviously.
I don't fucking have a clue where it's at.
And then like he adopted their.
Please don't tell me he talked like a coon ass.
He did, yeah.
Hope he did better than their new football coach did.
He adopted their accent. It was fucking bizarre to watch. Like, he'd be talking to the people and, yeah, you know about that down there. It's like, oh, fuck, Steve. This is your worst acting job ever. Steven Seagal, Cajun accent. We'll see if it pops up. It was bad. It was bad. All the accents of Steven Seagal. I'm about to call my mama. Let's see what he says. Fucking.
Got to make their money. You know what's funny is they will take someone else's video off where they can't get paid for it, but then they'll still show a commercial. You did it again.
They need to get rid of this button. Whatever this button is.
How do you keep turning it off?
I hit the back button. What a pain in the ass. We need another producer here. That's what we need.
To push our buttons and stuff?
Push our buttons and all that stuff.
What kind of drugs we looking for? Should be hard, right? We got a search and seizure warrant. The mission of today is to execute the warrant. If they see us coming, they're going to alert everybody. And then we're not going to knock. We're going to go right in. There's subjects that are aware that we've been hitting this area hard. Everybody's real nervous. Right, it's right up here.
Oh, that's
is he going to talk?
I hope. It's the whole reason I And so I watch videos you see videos like this. Steven's nowhere to be found. He's not first in the door. Like, he comes out last.
Well, yeah, he ain't a real cop.
Well, obviously they deputized him.
Let's stop this. Let's pause this for a minute. Let's talk about this right now. There is not a more dangerous job in the world than a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
They went into a house. Think about this. You're going into a house where there are drugs, and where there's drugs, there's guns because they have money.
Right.
And you got to go into someone's house, and you're going to probably arrest someone that's been arrested before, that's going to go back to prison for a long time. Let me ask you, if you was going to go back to prison for 20 years.
I'm fighting.
Why would you not?
Right.
You take someone my age. I'm 54 now.
That's a life sentence, probably.
That's the rest of your life. Or what are you going to get out? There ain't going to be no life to be had anymore.
Right. You're going to get out Steven Seagal's age.
If I'm going to
have
prison,
to fight for Russia.
if I'm going to prison for 20 years, you're going to find me in Mexico or somewhere like a third world country. I'd rather go out trying to live my life somewhere like that than to be fucking going to prison. So that's how dangerous that job is, and they're talking defund the police.
A lot of guys with nothing to lose.
That's exactly what they have. And a police officer deals with a piece of shit probably 70% of the time. Probably. 7 out of the 10 people they deal with are liars.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who they are. They're dealing with people that lie. When what was that, Live PD was on TV?
Right.
You notice that. Most of the people lied to them. Mm-hmm. Or they'd have someone in cuffs and there'd be somebody bitching at them and screaming at them from the side. Police brutality. Film them, film them, film them. Film the piece of shit that broke the law. Why do you let them break the law in your neighborhood and you don't give two shits? You know? Mm-hmm. If there's a guy across the street from me selling dope or in my front yard, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, but these people,
you don't want to deal with it.
No, and these people act like they're fucking, like they're some kind of saints that they're arresting. And it blows my mind. And when I saw them cops in that deal, I thought about that. Them poor people going through that.
Let's see what Steven Seagal has to say.
No, I don't really care what Steven Seagal has
I want
to
to hear his accent because it was.
It ain't going to do
nothing.
nothing.
Not going to find a good one.
No.
He didn't believe he can fight like that.
No.
What was that, Steven?
He's clearly wanted to go. I'm not going to let him drive, so I asked if he could take a taxi or if somebody could come and pick him up.
Steven didn't ask shit. Steven came up. See, there he goes.
Yeah.
There he goes. There he goes with that terrible fucking accent. Now he's trying to be hood there. Can't do that, Steven. That's cultural appropriation. You got to talk like you talk, bud. Who do you think would be, like, out of all the action stars from the 80s, who do you think is the most legit?
What do you mean legit?
Like,
really a tough guy?
Like in a street fight.
Mr. T, who pitied a fool. No.
Yeah, I saw him in a commercial today. He looks bad.
Well, fuck, he's 100 years old.
He's probably older than Steven. I'm going with Van Damme.
Oof.
Schwarzenegger, because, I mean, he was like a legitimate.
What about Jackie Chan?
I think Van Damme would whoop Jackie Chan's ass.
Action.
Schwarzenegger's
he was
fake.
A fucking douchebag.
He was fake. Jeff, you're putting 2022 politics.
Well, I'm just thinking of him being a douchebag.
You didn't know. You thought he was
probably
actor.
Terrible.
He was great
in
in True Lies.
He was in him. He was. That's
True Lies.
And he's with the smoking hottest woman in the world. Robin Williams or Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams.
No, that's the Eraser. True Lies. He's with Tom Arnold.
Oh, and he's with Jamie Lee Curtis. Gets
yes.
down to her skivvies and dancing around.
Yeah, she's hot in that.
Yes, she is. Yeah, Vanessa Williams. Whew,
that's the Eraser.
Show. Yeah, she's a smoke show. That was a good show too.
Schwarzenegger's had a lot of good shows. You're just hating on him.
No. I think he's a douchebag and a tool bag in real life. But the worst one he was in was Commando or something.
Well, that was his first one.
And he hits that fucking telephone at 70 miles an hour in that little car, and are you all right? To that little girl that's with him.
That was his first one. You need to cut the guy a break.
I don't.
He's a Republican, Jeff.
No, he ain't a fucking Republican.
Well.
I don't think he would have been a tough guy, though.
No, I'm not saying. I think he would have probably been the least deadly. I think Bruce Willis would have probably been deadlier than him.
What about Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris, yeah. It might be Chuck Norris. Between Chuck Norris and Van Damme. both of them were like legitimate martial artists. Like you can go to YouTube and see them fighting, like in an actual combat. So here we go. He was in Twins. I like Twins.
That's not a bad show.
Predator, not bad.
Not one of my favorites.
The Terminator, which made his career. But once again, I'm not a huge fan of that. Total Recall.
Nope.
Kindergarten Cop.
That's a cute show.
I loved Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
True Lies, the last.
True Lies was not bad.
True Lies is a great movie.
It is.
Tom Arnold's fantastic
He is
in it.
very, very good in it.
Eraser.
Very, very good. Probably my favorite movie of his.
And then he was in End of Days, which, you know.
I don't even know what that is.
Collateral Damage.
That was not a bad show.
Wasn't bad. The Sixth Day, I didn't like it. And then, like, he gets on the expendable train.
Who would whip whose ass? Denzel Washington
Denzel Washington's not a fighter.
or Will Smith?
Will Smith, 100%. Not even close.
You think so?
Fuck yes. Today? Like, especially
Did you not see
today.
Training Day?
Nah, that was fake. Will Smith in Bad...
Will Smith's getting fat now, too.
Like,
Both
are we
of them
talking, like, characters?
We're
Like,
talking
trained,
about-
like
we're talking
Alfonso
about-
versus Bad Boys Will Smith?
Alfonso would have whooped Will Smith in Bad Boys' ass.
Probably so. But, like,
Bad
Will
Boys
Smith...
is a legit good show.
Oh, it's a fantastic show.
It's a great movie.
It's a fantastic show.
And he's a tough guy.
I've
there.
not seen the third one, though. You said it wasn't that great, so I'm kind of... I don't want to...
They didn't do a lot of running scenes.
Yeah, they said Martin Lawrence fucking got too fat to do it.
He's
What makes me sad is when you see this. So, Terminator, Dark Fate, Terminator, Genesis. He's got like 17 Expendables. Terminator, Rise of the Machines.
I'll tell you another one I don't think would be a tough
Terminator.
guy is Sylvester Stallone.
No, fuck, he's like 4'3".
Yeah.
He's like Logan Pyatt's height. Like not you know, shoulder high.
Thigh high motherfucker.
Thigh high motherfucker. Just yoked up. He's another one that looks terrible right now.
My dad told me Robert Conrad was the smallest little bastard you ever seen.
I don't know who Robert Conrad is.
He was in Pappy Boyington, Black Sheep Squadron, which was really a pretty good show. He was an action star kind of and tough guy in the 70s. And my dad was in a movie with him, and Dad was talking about what a little sawed off bat, which Dad was such a big guy anyways. Like Robert Conrad, they was doing a deal, and Dad was in the deal, and they made Dad get out of it.
Why?
Because he made him look so small, because he made Robert Conrad look like a little guy.
Stallone's another one. He got like bad hair implants or something. And I mean, that's just the thing. Like when you see like there's no recession at all, and it's just like your hair's in a perfect line. And
So people on YouTube can see that?
yeah, they can see that.
Good.
But I mean, it just
And he's not a real big guy either.
no. He's like 4'3". He's a tiny little guy. He's cute. He's cute is what he is. He's a cute guy.
We don't have guys like that. We don't have a lot of actors like that today, like we used to. Movies are completely different. Matter of fact, you used to see you used to say trailers all the time, you know, or yeah, I think.
Well, we're coming out of COVID, so
well, but even then, no, before COVID, we still didn't have all the movies come out like we used to. There used to be new movies out all the time, good movies,
right.
and there's not anymore because there's so many of them go to Netflix, so many of them go to Prime or Disney Plus, but I don't even know who the actors are. Like when we had Sylvester Stallone, we had Stallone. We had John Travolta. We had
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. We had movies
Schwarzenegger.
all the time.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Denzel Washington. Every time he touched anything, it was a great movie.
I didn't like Philadelphia. I tried to watch a little bit of Philadelphia on the trip. It was the only thing on in Houston. I caught the middle of it. I didn't like it.
I do want to watch the rest of the 007 movie. I'm going to watch that tonight or tomorrow at the house. But I did not. But there's nothing new coming out anymore.
No, they're doing Batman again. I'm excited about the new Batman, but how many times can you like reinvent the wheel?
The sad thing is we're living in Batman's times in big cities now. We used to watch those shows and you thought, fuck, there ain't no town going to be that fucked up. Well,
yeah.
Buddy, we're getting close.
Where the fuck is Gotham at?
Yeah. Well, now it's every big city in America. And it's in Detroit today, and tomorrow it'll be in Cleveland.
Dolph Lundgren's another one we forgot about. I think he's a legitimate tough guy and a brainiac. They're incredibly smart. Let me see how smart he is. Very smart. I'll find it.
Well, Chris Christopherson was a Rhodes Scholar, so.
IQ of 160.
Which one was he, anyways?
Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
He was I will break him. He was him.
In Batman?
No, in Rocky IV.
Oh, I don't know if I even seen that.
You didn't see Rocky 4?
I don't know. I'm not a big Rocky fan.
That was the best Rocky.
Rocky 1 was the best Rocky.
Rocky 4, I put it on paper, is the best Rocky, hands down.
Well, I haven't watched
3
all the
sucked.
Rockies, I don't think.
I'll put it in this order. It goes 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5.
There's 5 fucking Rockies.
There's more than that now.
They've been more since then?
But I got a bunch of Rockies.
See, that's
there's Rocky
ridiculous.
There's Rocky Balboa. There's just regular old Rocky. There's all sorts of Rockies, Jeff. He's got a chemical engineering degree from the Royal Institute Technology in Sweden and a full scholarship to MIT. That is Dolph Lundgren.
What do you consider the greatest movie of all time?
Oh, boy. The greatest movie of all time.
Of all time.
Wow. You're really putting me on the spot here. I don't think I could limit it to just one because it depends on what mood I'm in.
The greatest action movie of all time.
The greatest action movie of all time. Man, it's hard not to say like Training Day just because it's fresh on my mind. There's so many. Fuck. I don't know. I couldn't even give you an intelligent answer. I mean, Training Day is one of the greatest movies I think that's ever been made.
The greatest movie I think.
Are you defining action movie as like bang bang shoot 'em up, or
no, just
or is because to me like I like one of my favorite movies is Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Is that an action movie or is that a dark drama? Because it's kind of both. Is Training Day a drama or is it an action movie?
I think the greatest. The greatest movie I think, or one of the greatest movies ever made was Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner.
Never seen it.
You've never seen that? That's a great movie.
No.
Very well made. Very, very, very good movie. But it's history, and it's, and I like that kind of stuff, so it really comes down to me. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a movie that made me bawl my fucking eyes out was Armageddon.
Armageddon's a good movie.
And I bawled my eyes out at the end because I remember Zach's like, why are you crying? So one day when you have kids, you'll understand.
I mean, I don't think it did very well, but I really enjoyed Armageddon. Armageddon's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider it one of the greatest movies ever, but it was to me, it was a really good show. I want something that's going to make me appreciate the story and put some emotions into it. I like Dances with Wolves. I think one of the greatest movies ever made is still Magnolias.
It's a good movie.
It is a very good movie. It's got everything. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It is really a good movie.
I like movies that make you think. So I like the Inceptions of the world. I like Seven. I like to think. I don't like movies that are just like empty calories. Like the Die Hard's a good movie, but that's kind of as far as I go on the shoot 'em up train. I like movies that you got to kind of think a little bit, and maybe the ending's going to be a little fucked up. I like those kind of movies.
I'll tell you a movie that I really like, and I watch it every time I see it on TV. If I'm at home and I'm flipping through and it's on, is the movie with Gene Hackman and Will Smith.
Oh yeah, Enemy of the State.
Yes, I thought that was a very
good
movie
too.
And that's something that kept me. I watch it and I'm, movies are also supposed to be about entertainment.
Sure.
Let's face it. There's not a better movie in the world if you want to laugh your ass off than Hangover, the first one.
No, I mean that's what I mean. It all kind of depends on your mood. I'm looking here at so I got a list. Rolling Stones top 50 action movies of all time. Taken's a fucking great one.
That is a good show.
The Rock.
Very, very good show.
Awesome show. Sean
actors.
Connery did not use
You're going to die too fast.
Well, I'm going back up to the top 50. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I've never seen that. Escape from New York. I've seen it.
I don't think it's that great.
I didn't. Dead or Alive, never seen it. The Rock, like we said. Taken. Watch Taken. It's a great fucking show. The Fugitive was a good show.
That is good. That's when he's on the airplane, wasn't it?
No, his wife dies.
That's right. Yes. He jumps
murdered
on the water. That is a really good show.
By a amputee.
Yes.
He goes and Speed was a good one. I mean, we'll go to the top 10 after this. Wonder Woman.
Never
seen
it.
Hero.
Never seen it. La Femme Nikita. I don't think I've seen it.
Never saw it.
The Warriors. What a cool fucking movie.
I've never seen it.
When I was a kid and we got cable TV, that some bitch was on all the time. And the Warriors come out and play. It was about the gangs in New York.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But look, watching it now, it might not be that good.
Yeah, that's what stinks. Is I tried to watch what did I try to watch? It was in Apocalypse Now. They were talking about how great of a movie it was.
It was a timepiece. It was good. It's kind of like the movie
Point Break.
What's the movie D-Day? The first one they made with John Wayne and stuff. It's a really great movie, but it's made in 1953 or something. You know what I'm saying? The Great Escape's a great way. That's with goddamn, what's that guy? Steve McQueen.
What is this about? I think they're redoing this.
They're coming back out of Stalag 13, and they're coming. It was a great movie. I mean, a great movie. This guy's blind and he can't see.
Really?
Yeah, that is a very, very good. Steve McQueen jumps over a fence. Great, great, great movie right there.
And what's it called again? The Great Escape?
The Great Escape. It is a great movie. Steve McQueen was in some great movies. You ever seen Papillon?
No.
Oh, it's another great movie from back in the day.
Avengers Endgame,
Total Recall. Nope. Goldfinger, great movie. Which I'm a Bond guy. I love James Bond movies, and that is a really.
Do
good
you
one.
like the new Bond?
No, not like I did the old one. The old one was more. I don't know. It just was more classy. The stuff today has really kind of gotten off. Now they're fixing. Hold on, just stop before you keep going down.
I'm not a Star Wars guy.
They I noticed in the new one, and I only got to watch the first 30 minutes of it on the plane.
I got to watch the first hour and a half. It's a good show.
They're fixing to sub out a man 007. The new chick is going to be the new 007.
That black chick?
That's what's going to happen.
Oh,
they're going to make it.
Because she already had the spoiler alert.
Yeah, she's already.
She had the number, and then she gave it back to.
But see, you're ruining it for me because I didn't know she gave it back.
She gave it back to him.
But anyways, I only saw the first 30 minutes. But they're fixing it. They want a person of color and they want a woman, and I want to just give her a dick too, so we can just knock everything off at once, make her transgender. But they're going that way, and they're going to ruin one of the greatest. I think the greatest series ever.
Adventures of Robin Hood.
In 1938, no thank you.
Yeah, pass.
The Villains, don't even know what that is.
Never heard of it. Fast Five.
Don't even know. Oh, I see. I was never into all those.
The first Fast and Furious, that's the best one. I mean, past that,
Kill Bill was not into that.
I didn't see it. Logan, hadn't seen it.
I never even heard of Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer, Midnight Run.
That's actually pretty decent. That's with the guy that's got the money belt on him.
Midnight Run?
Yeah, it's not bad. They're trying to kill him. He's got a money. He's the mob. He stole a bunch of money from the mob.
Casino Royale.
That's probably his best one that he did.
Mission Impossible.
Don't even know what it is. I don't watch Tom Cruise in anything.
I like the second Mission Impossible.
Never watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I didn't need Terminator 2. It was okay.
The Dirty Dozen's a great show. Lee Marvin was a badass. He was a real Marine too.
Really?
Yep, in World War II. You've never seen that?
Never.
Jim Brown in it. It's a good show.
The Dark Knight.
It's probably my second favorite war movie. My favorite one is I wish Harry was here because he could tell me what the name of it is. The Canadian and the U.S. troops, they put them together to make to go in to kill Germans. It's a good show, and I can't remember the name of it.
This Dark Knight would be hard not to.
That was a good one.
Put on my top list. Heath Ledger's performance, and that's another. Was Heath Ledger just that good as a Joker, or did he die Did he die right before it came out, and that's what elevated his performance? But I thought Heath Ledger was fucking brilliant in that. Brilliant. It's a all-time classic. I don't get into Jackie Chan very much. Rush Hour. Rush Hour's another good one.
Those are great. Chris Tucker makes them though.
Born Identity, I wasn't into it.
Nope. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nope.
No.
I like history.
I'm not an Indiana Jones fan.
Aliens,
no. Pass.
Nope.
Black Panther,
nope.
No.
Nope. Seven Samurai, no. That's Bruce.
I don't get into the Japanese. Hard Boiled,
never heard of it.
Matrix, not my favorite. We're up to number 6 now.
Enter the Dragon.
Nope. No, not Bruce Lee. The Raid, never heard of it.
I can tell you right now that their fucking list is not even close to mine.
John Wick is really good. I like John Wick. But that's one of those things, like you got to kind of be in the mood. But
well, that's only in the top 10. That's by far the best one so far in the top 10.
He's a certified badass. And like he knows like weapons training. You watch like his behind the scenes training for that. He's a stud. Die Hard, okay, I can go with that. I don't know that it deserves number 2. Mad Max Fury Road. Who the fuck put that there?
I don't know. I would have never even thought about that.
Mad Max Fury Road is the number 1.
Have you ever watched the original Mad Max ones?
I watched this one.
No, have you ever seen the original ones though?
No.
Oh God Almighty, they're horrible.
I've never seen Braveheart. Braveheart's on Netflix right now, so I'm trying.
Braveheart is a very good show.
I'm trying to make it through the 3 hours of whatever that is.
That's a good show.
How was Face Off not? Face Off was good. Con Air was good. Heat. How is Heat not on that on the list?
I don't remember Heat.
Oh my, Jeff, you've got to watch Heat. If you don't do it, 300. How is 300 not on the list? 300 is a great movie.
You look up the greatest movies of all times.
I did look that up.
No, that you put action movies, top action movies
of all
time.
time.
Yeah, top movies of all time.
How the hell? Some of these that got left off. I'm scratching my head over here. Heat for sure. Are you? Did you like the Clint Eastwood movies?
Dirty Harry was a good show.
Not those. His Western movies.
The one me and Mom watched the other day, that Cry Macho, was
Yeah.
really good. I liked it. I mean,
What about
the
other?
Outlaw Josie Wells was awesome. Awesome. I love that. Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Is that what it was? It was good. I like his stuff.
See, these are gonna be Silence of the Lambs.
That's a great movie. Pulp Fiction's a good movie. The Godfather, man, is both of those.
You
are
got to
good.
invest a lot of time. Top movies of all time. Okay, so I am on the right thing. Just find
100 best movies of all time, right there, right below your. No, you was
Rotten
on it.
Tomatoes.
No, right there.
That one. Time Out.
No, the one above it.
I've never
there.
heard of these. Is what,
Just click on it and see what it is.
scares me. I try to go to a reputable source.
In fact, we was on one, and when they gave 100 best movies of all time.
Gone with the Wind's going to be on here, and
Amadeus, I did not see.
Hurt Locker was really good. That's 99. Let's see if we can.
Mad Max Fury Road.
So it's 98 on this one,
Okay.
and it's number 1 best ever on the other one. Truman Show. Let me see if I can get to the top 25. I'm going to skip past a lot of this. Finding Nemo, Silence of the Lambs is number 95. Boy, I can't wait to see what they've got up at the top. Okay, now I'm going to scroll really, really fast for just a second. What number are we at? Oh, fuck, we're just at the 70s. 50s, 40s, 30, ad.
Rosemary's Baby. Woof.
I never saw it.
About a girl gets knocked up by the devil.
Satan, right?
Yep. And
Taxi
it's Roman
Driver.
Polanski, another hypocritical fucker that Hollywood loves.
Apocalypse Now, I just saw it. Night of the Hunter, never heard of it. Okay, so here we go. We'll go to the top 20. How about that? People got shit to do. Oh, fuck, I went way too far. Singing in the Rain. All right, 15, Modern Times. Never heard of it. See, we're going to get into all of this shit.
North by Northwest, I've seen it. It's nothing great.
Alfred Hitchcock?
Yep.
You got to be in the mood for Alfred Hitchcock. Dr. Strangelove?
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, see, it's going to be Singing in the Rain, Psycho. I
Nope.
never saw the original one. Saw the one with Vince Vaughn. Vertigo. Alfred Hitchcock.
Citizen Kane, nope. Wasn't a big fan of it.
Schindler's
Schindler's List, great
List.
movie.
I hadn't seen it.
It's very good.
Lord of the Rings.
Not into that shit.
Pulp
Fiction's a very
Fiction.
good movie.
City Lights.
By Charlie Chaplin. There's no way Charlie Chaplin's got 3 in the top 100.
Well, what about Alfred Hitchcock?
No, same way. Casablanca's a good show.
What was it about? It said not enough sex. 12 Angry Men.
Nope.
Number 1, The Godfather.
Very good show.
Yeah, it's good, but
It's excellent.
is it worth number 1?
It is a great movie.
3 hours long.
It is a great movie.
That's another thing that goes into my criteria of a great movie is can I sit down in one sitting and watch it?
I have The Godfather many times. It's a good show.
I've watched it once. You can't. That's the thing with Braveheart. I can't sit down, and I hadn't seen Braveheart any of them. But I want 2 hours max is all that I've got.
If I've got 2 hours to sit down and watch a show, I'm going to look for something that was made between 1958 and 1975, and I'm going to look for something with John Wayne and a World War II movie at that time because I enjoy those. I like everything about those. Today's
2001
modern
Space
movie, I don't
Odyssey.
like. Even when they redo World War II movies, most of them. The Fury's a great movie.
Oh, fuck, Fury.
That is a great movie right there.
How did I forget about Fury?
You know, but
Have you seen Citizen Kane?
yeah, long time ago. Most of them old ones I don't like.
Never heard of that.
God dang it, what's the one? Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Never seen it.
It's a good show. The one in the park. There's another one from back in the time. There's some of them old ones that are really good. Rich Man, Poor Man or something. There's a movie, and I can't remember the name of it, from back in the day that's about a guy that's wealthy that marries a poor girl, and she dies of cancer or something. And right in the, it's I can't remember the name. It's a really good show too. But there's some old movies I've watched that are really good. But most of the movies today, I cannot stand.
Yeah.
I really can't. There's very few movies today that I think, that was really a good. The cinema,
well put together.
Yeah, the cinematography is amazing these days. The cameras and stuff, but they just don't tell the stories like like Cry Macho was really not even that great a movie, but it was really good that I liked. But it's nothing that's going to win any awards. But but Clint Eastwood, it was just well put together.
Now here's a list that might be more suited to me. We got 7 at number 20. This is top movies according to IMDb. That's on Pluto right now. I got Pluto. Oh,
see this all this Jackie Chan shit. One Flew the Cuckoo. That's a really good show. That's a good show, but it's one of the movies I can't believe someone hasn't redone it.
Goodfellas.
That's a good show.
Good show.
They're running out of Italian actors to make them things because every time there's a new one. What was the one we watched with Jimmy Hoffa that?
Yeah, it was all those guys.
Yeah, what show was that though?
The Irishman.
That great show.
It was all them though.
Yeah, and they're fucking all dying.
Lord of the Rings, Inception. Okay, so I'm digging it. I like Inception. Forrest Gump.
I can't stand Tom Hanks now, but that is a good show.
I had a history teacher. So any of you young people that are out there that are taking world history or American history after 1950, if you have to cram for a test, just watch Forrest Gump. It covers all the highlights from 1950 on to whenever it was made, 1990s. Fight Club. That's the greatest movie of all time.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Oh, you got to stop what you're doing right now and go watch Fight Club.
I don't like those kind of shows, though.
It's on Prime. Ooh, I got to watch it.
It's kind of like Zach wanted to watch what him and Mom watched when he was going to paramedic school. God dang it. About the guy that beat the shit out of everybody. It was a series. It wasn't. He was a UFC fighter, and his brother was gay, and his dad and mom were divorced.
Kingdom on Netflix.
Yeah, and I just couldn't get into that.
The
Punisher's the other one.
Oh, yeah, The Punisher's good.
I'll tell you a show that I liked.
Punisher's good.
We were giving everybody, all we're doing is talking about movies today.
Oh, that's okay.
The Mechanic.
I hadn't seen it.
The movie was really good.
You've got Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do.
I'm not watching that shit.
You need to watch Fight Club.
No.
It's a good one. Lord of the Rings.
Not watching that shit. That's a good movie
Bad,
right
and
there.
the Ugly.
That's the one I was thinking about earlier.
It's on DirecTV.
Clint Eastwood. How can anybody not like Clint Eastwood? That's the America we need back.
Just a badass.
Just movies like that are good tales.
Schindler's List. I hadn't seen it. What's it on? Maybe I can watch it. Fubo. Nope, don't have any of that. 12 Angry Men again.
Well, hold on. Stop a minute. I want to read what that's about. A smaller scale movie, however, that does nothing to listen to. Juror's Room is a 12-man debate a murder case.
Oh. Huh. Well, that'd be interesting.
It's called what now?
12 Angry Men?
Angry Men. I'm going to look that up.
You can only watch it on iTunes. Dark Knight again. Godfather Part 2.
I thought Part 2 was as good as Part 1 was.
Part 1 and number 1 is Shawshank.
That's a really good show, too.
That's not been on any list either.
Green Mile. That's a
good.
great movie.
Stephen King.
I'll tell you another really good movie that had a good story, and you can see Halle Berry get banged on it, is Monsters Ball.
It was okay.
What about Sling Blade?
It's a little slow, but yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of good stuff in it, but it's a little slow.
I read a really good book while we were on vacation.
And I don't know if my attention span is changing either, but like a lot of these slower movies are just like, if I haven't seen it already, it's tough to get invested into it.
The guy asked me if I'd give a review on here about a book I read. I read Black Flags, Blue Waters, an epic history of America's most notorious pirates. It's a really good story, and I learned a lot on reading this book. I did not realize in the 1600s how much of the economy was based on pirating in the Northeast of the United States. The city of Boston, their whole economy was based on pirating. All them pirates would come from Jamaica, the Bahamas, that whole area up there, and they would come up there, and those people would get the governors and the rich people in Boston. They would pay for these guys to go on these pirate trips, and they would get a percentage off that boat that was made, and it was big money, big money. An average guy back then would make £25 a year was his salary.
Right.
On one pirating cruise, they might their share might be $500 to $5,000. but they would spend their money in these different deals. But it's a really, really good book if you like old history, and a lot of stuff, especially that area from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, down to the Cape Cod, and even New York City. They talk a lot about a lot of it, and a lot of stuff in the Caribbean. And it was a really good book. One of the most notorious pirates, of course, is Blackbeard.
Uh-huh.
The other pirate, and I can't think of his name right now off my hand.
Christopher Columbus.
No, he wasn't a pirate.
Yes, he was.
Christopher Columbus?
The explorer Christopher Columbus established contact between Europe and the lands that were later named the Americas at the end of the 15th century. He was the first pirate.
No, they don't talk about him.
Well, technically.
Right. He was an explorer. He was explorer more than he was known as a pirater. I'm sure all of them pirated a little bit.
Did he steal a lot of shit?
I don't know if he did or not.
Other than Native Americans' land? Let's look at that. Did Christopher Columbus steal?
It's compared. You can get an Indian or Native American. Anyways, in this book, there was a guy who was a wealthy plantation owner, and I think he was in Jamaica, and that guy turned to pirating. They said he just lost his mind one day, went out and bought him a big pirate ship and started pirating everywhere.
Really?
And him and Blackbeard ran partners, and Blackbeard would kind of oversee him. They finally ended up just taking his boat and just setting him on the beach somewhere.
Now, who was Blackbeard?
Blackbeard was just a pirate.
Was he ruthless, or was he
All of
fairly
them were ruthless.
nice?
No, they were ruthless people. But they, it's funny, they had democracy on those boats.
Really?
They would vote on different things. If they, do you want to go attack this boat? And they'd have a vote.
Really?
Yep, and they do a lot of that kind of stuff. If you were a good captain to your crew and you treated them well, when the pirates would come to your crew, they would ask the sailors, and if they was like, no, he's a good guy, he treats us well and stuff, they would a lot of time would let them leave. Sometimes they'd let you leave with your ship. They just take all the shit off of it's good. If you're a bad guy, they'd cut your entrails out and throw you in the ocean. They were pretty ruthless on a lot of things. But they usually, when they would take over a boat, they would see who, them sailors were not very loyal.
Really?
No. And if they were on a boat and the pirates attacked it and they took over, a lot of them would just decide to we'll join your forces, and then they'd be pirates on that ship taking over other people's ships. But anyways, they took a lot of gold, a lot of jewelry. There's a lot of shipwrecks everywhere. But our whole basis of our finances around Boston and stuff, a lot of that was off of was stolen money. And one of the really big targets of these people were the Muslims.
Really?
Yeah, they would take them to go from India to in that area over there, and the Muslims would go to Mecca, and they would take all their jewels and all their stuff, and they would take these boat rides over there, and these pirates would go and they would attack them. And the East Indian Trading Company, they got kicked out of some countries and stuff because they would side with pirates, or the pirates would be against them. A lot of politics in there, but it was really an interesting book on how the pirate ship worked and all the. That was a rough life.
It's always been a rough life.
It has been. You're right. And
until about 60 years ago.
And then me and you listened to a podcast coming home, and a guy, and I wish I could tell the book. I've read it too. What was it? Comanche. Comanche
Empire
Moon?
of the Rising Sun or something?
Empire of the Comanche Moon, maybe.
No, it wasn't that.
Joe Rogan had the author on, and we listened to that podcast. I've read the book. It's a great book. Talks about Quanah Parker and his mom and her idiot fucking uncles that left the gates open.
They left the gates open.
That's how the Indians attack. Yeah, they had just left the fucking gate. They built a fort, but they left the fucking gates open to go work in the fields.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the Indians attacked them, and then they just went right into the damn because the gates were open.
Hymns of the Republic. Why the fuck can't I find it? What was it called?
Ah, shit, I got it on my pictures.
Empire of the Rising Sun. What was it?
I just read the book the other day.
You did?
Yeah. I read it when I was in Port Orford.
Empire of the Summer Moon.
Yep. Great book. Great book. I got 2 new books to read that Mom bought me that just got here while we were gone. Well, one of them I took with me on my trip, and I didn't even get a chance to read it yet. And it's Peter Schweitzer's new book.
I'm reading The Boy Crisis right now.
Is that good?
Yeah, there's a lot of facts and stuff, but boys, what it's talking about is the epidemic of fatherless boys and what it leads to.
I believe there is a big problem with that in our country, and you see a ton of it.
Gangs. Young kids are always going to look. Young boys, especially, are always going to look for that father figure, and when they don't have one, that's when they turn to gangs and stuff.
Gangs are the families for most of those kids, and it's the first time in their life they've had something they're a part of.
Right.
The older guys look after those young guys. Now, those young guys are doing a task for them, whether it starts out as, being
Cigarettes.
a snitch on the corner. Most of them start out as a lookout on the corners. They stay on the corner and they make a whistle. They do something if someone's coming, if they think the police are on the deal. And then it turns into something else. And then the next thing you know, you got to go shoot somebody. But that's the first time they've had anybody that's cared about them, and they feel a bond towards those people.
But boys are also more susceptible to being diagnosed with ADHD. Boys,
I never thought about that, but that is true.
Yeah, it's just rambunctiousness is all that it is. But boys are not properly socialized with a father figure, so that leads to them being more rambunctious in the classroom, where they're told to just sit down and shut up. If you look at boys from so when the women's rights movement kicked off and women started working in the workforce, and they cut our wages in half. Thanks a lot, women. You want to know why wages are stagnant? It's because there's more people to choose from. But women have always had a sense of purpose. Boys, now that there's not as much manual labor and machines are kind of taking over and there's more people in the workplace, boys are kind of left with a purpose gap. Not everybody has a sense of direction, whereas a woman, if she has a couple kids and a family to take care of, well, that's her purpose. And then they can also be breadwinners now, and really guys have kind of taken a back seat in this new world that we find ourselves in.
How do people not? How do people have a family? And this always strikes me because I run into people like this. They have a family, they have children, and they have no sense of responsibility to take care of them. What do you mean? I know a ton of men like that. They got 2 kids, they don't ever see them, or they don't do nothing with them. And there's someone listening to this, you're guilty of this, and I don't understand you, and I don't understand how. And I'm not talking about the guy that's got the wife, the ex-wife, and she makes it hard for him to visit kids. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guy out there that's got kids, and he just don't do nothing with them. I don't understand that.
Women also file for divorce 70% of the time.
Men are probably hard to live with.
Well,
but guys just like that,
right?
And you're a very good dad.
It also said that if a man asked a woman what her job was, if she said she was unemployed, that would not have any bearing on whether or not the man dated her or not. If a woman asked a man what his job is and he said he's unemployed, you're undateable.
If you had a daughter and she was going out with a guy and he didn't have a job, what would you tell her? He's a fucking loser.
Get rid of his ass.
Yeah.
But when you look at the workforce climate,
if your son brought home a hot chick and she didn't have a job, would you care?
No.
That's right.
But what it's saying is if you look at the jobs that are out there, the biggest expansion in the workforce has been schooling, nursing, and there was another one for like peoples. But men are not primarily nurses. They're not educators more than women are. So if you look at kind of where the jobs are, it's not really suited for a whole lot of men. And the dangerous jobs are becoming less and less.
Well,
I mean, you don't see, the days of erecting a 200-story skyscraper are pretty well over.
Probably so. We're in this country's in a bind right now for lots of employees, though. Electricians, HVAC guys. We're not building skyscrapers, but we're building all the time. And it's exploding because we've got more mouths to feed, more places to put them.
But that's what it's saying. If we could get to like a vocational type of education system, we'd be a lot better off for young boys, because for the last 50 years, it's been you got to go to college, you got to get a degree, and you got to come out and find a job. Where we're not preaching to young boys, go to vocational school, become a master electrician, become a plumber. So we've kind of done a disservice to our kids in the education system because we preached the narrative for so long. You've got to go to college. You've got to get this degree. And they look down on people like plumbers and electricians and carpenters. They've just been told this fantasy of you've got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to get a degree and you got to come out.
Well, I think the world's changing on that way.
I hope.
Pretty quick.
I hope.
I I was doing some of my education stuff for judge school, and I was reading some stuff the other day. It was an arrest report I was reading about and stuff, and there was a domestic violence call at a house, and they had a problem and stuff. They got in a fight, and the lady and the man both neither had jobs, neither worked, both multiple felonies for drug convictions and stuff, and blah blah blah, and they got in a fight, waiting on the guy to put the new internet and satellite TV in. And this is all I got out of that. How the fuck do two people don't have a fucking job to get internet? And I asked another judge that. He's like, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, I was thinking, how the fuck can they afford $200 a fucking month if they don't have a job?
I'm sure there's some program for them.
They are, and that's what.
And that's another thing. In my opinion,
flew all over me.
I've not read this in this book, but there's too many programs for people to be lazy and worthless. You want to be lazy and worthless? Well, there's probably a program where you can get free internet and cable.
When
we got to cut all that shit out. There has to be repercussions for people just not being good members of society. We got too many fucking losers is the problem.
Yes, if you want more, go work harder, get you an education, learn a trade, do something, and help yourself. It's everywhere. I mean, I don't know how, to be honest with you, I don't know how people are poor. I know how people are poor. I don't know how poor people survive, because your monthly bills, I'm not talking about a vehicle. I'm not talking about a vehicle's insurance. And I'm not talking about buying gas, which are three huge things right now for people. I'm talking about the basic necessities that people think they need to have. Everybody thinks they need to have internet in their house.
Obviously.
Everybody thinks they need to have a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't have to have a computer because they use a cell phone for everything.
Right.
I still use a laptop a lot, but they got to have a cell phone and they've got to have internet.
Mm-hmm.
Those two bills alone right there, and satellite TV or streaming device or whatever, you're going to spend $200 to $250 a month. How do they afford that shit? That's not counting buying food. That's not counting. I mean, just it's $250 a fucking month.
Like I said, I'm sure there's some program out there somewhere where you can qualify for free internet or reduced internet. You might only be paying $10 a month for this internet. You probably, they're giving cell phones away.
What's your water bill? About $80 a month?
Oh shit, I don't even.
It's about. I know.
No, I think it's like 60.
No, it's the minimum. I think is 66.
Oh.
But anyways, let's say you've got just a $70 water bill. You got a $70 water bill.
But they're not paying a full water bill. There's
very few reduced rates in that unless you live in the projects. I'm just talking about for the basic person now. I'm not talking about anything.
With a home.
With a home.
Okay.
Your water bill is going to run you $70 a month.
Okay.
Your electric bill for the average home is going to be $200 to $300 a month.
Okay.
Okay. Then you're going to have a gas bill.
Ours was enormous this last month.
My gas bill was $120.
Ours was $140.
And that's for me because we don't have hardly any gas in the house other than some heat.
Right.
Okay. So that's another $100 a month. And then you talk about your homeowner's insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That's anywhere from $200 to $1,000 depending on how much kind of house you have and how much stuff you have in it. That's, you're talking.
How much did you say homeowners was?
$200 to $600 a month depending on what you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I've got a bunch of, I have a whole lot of content insurance because we have a lot of antiques and stuff. For somebody that just wants a minimum amount, it's not as much, but I'm going to say $200 to $600.
No, you're right.
And that's not even counting, your phone, your cell, and all that shit. The average home is going to have $1,500 to $2,500 a month, not counting a house payment.
Or groceries.
That's right.
You hadn't mentioned groceries yet.
Or a house payment. I don't have a house payment. I hadn't had one in years.
Or a vehicle payment.
That's right.
Insurance
That's
for
right.
the vehicle. Gas, which is...
The average person,
bill
an average family is going to have $5,000 a month overhead.
Yeah.
Time, and some a lot more and some less than that. But that's $60,000 a year.
Just to break even.
Just to break even. Not to be able to put them fucking money back. But $5,000 a month just to live.
Yeah.
How do these people get by that are making $10, $15 an hour and they have kids?
There's programs for everything.
And that's just
you're getting a shit. Number one, you're getting a ton of money for each kid that you have.
That fucking pisses me off.
So you're incentivizing having
multiple kids you can't afford.
Multiple kids that you cannot afford already. So now you're back on the government tit. We got too many programs for too many losers. And all that's doing is creating more generations of losers because these people see their parents make it and they've never had a full-time job. And now all of a sudden, all I got to do is fill out this paperwork and then I'm going to get these things.
We got the same people living in the projects have lived here since I've lived in Knox City. 30 years.
It's scary to think this. And I had this conversation with a friend. But maybe the only way we fix where we're at is if we had another major war. If we had another big time draft.
Well, the problem
is all these gender changes and shit like that. I mean, guess what? You're going over there and you're fighting for your motherland. Good fucking luck. You might want to dye your hair back from pink because you're going to be a target over there.
If you're a guy and you're thinking about getting your dick cut off, it ain't going to matter if someone's shooting at your ass.
But I think a lot of the problems that we see in society today would, unfortunately, probably be solved with another major conflict and you're putting your name in this hat, and if your number's drawn, you're going over there tomorrow. You're welcome to boot camp, motherfucker, for 6 weeks.
Since Vietnam, 1970, let's say, that's 50 years ago. We haven't really had a
major
conflict. We went to the guys that fought in the Middle East. I'm not negating anything you did or anything, but you signed that paper.
Correct.
And I appreciate what you did. And I'm not trying to come off anyways on that because I'm not against that at all. And I appreciate what you did. And I know it was a serious deal and people died. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there wasn't a draft.
Right.
Where people didn't have a choice.
Right. You're going and you're fighting.
Like when my dad graduated high school in 1962, you had to either go to the military or go to college, or you had to have a reason you weren't in the military. But that was it. Right. You didn't have a choice. Well, in 1966, 67, 68, 69, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a big percentage of everybody that graduated high school was going to end up in Vietnam. Well, we haven't had that since then, and so you might be onto something because these people don't have any patriotism. Military builds discipline in people, and they don't have any discipline.
Right.
And in the military, guess what? If you're a private, it don't matter what you have on the outside. You're still a fucking private and a grunt, just like everybody else is.
This says 2/3. Hold on. Myth. Common belief is that most Vietnam veterans were drafted. Fact. 2/3 of the men who served in Vietnam were volunteers. 2/3 of the men who served in World War II were drafted.
So 66% of everybody fighting in World War II. Well, the problem was, though, is when you graduated high school in World War II, you graduated high school on a Friday, and on Monday you were lined up getting on a bus to go somewhere to fight. It wasn't people standing out wanting to anti-war people weren't everywhere. Because
approximately 70% of those killed in Vietnam were volunteers.
But how many people served at that time? 66%?
What do you mean?
How many 18-year-old kids in 1967 had to serve in the military, I wonder?
Oof.
That's what I'm getting at, is how there was a big percentage of them. Nowadays, you don't know a lot of kids that sign up for the military.
Right.
But I see a lot of kids walking the streets at 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22, and they don't get shit going in life.
The average age of military men who died in Vietnam was 22.8 years old. One of the 101 18-year-old draftees who died, 7 of them were black. So I guess this is saying that there were only 101 18-year-old draftees that died in Vietnam.
But it's a horrible deal,
but I mean, you think about it, and I mean, maybe we've had it. Nobody's got any skin in the game anymore.
No,
not like they had a long time ago. And I mean, if you want to be a fuck up loser and stay at your house and watch Netflix all day, you can do it.
No, but we should be paying the bill for that.
I agree.
I've never.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And there was a time when you lived in the projects in Knox City, you couldn't have cable TV, you couldn't have satellite TV,
and maybe
you could have cable.
But where do you draw the line on? How do you vet these people? Is what I'm getting at. How do you Because I agree. If you're not going to have a full-time job and you're living on the government's dime, you shouldn't be comfortable all the time. You shouldn't be as comfortable as you are. There should be cost to what you're doing.
If you get free food, a free place to live, a reduced rate on all your fucking bills, what's the? I want more out of life. But a lot of people don't.
A lot of people just want the status quo, and as long as my bills are paid for and I'm got AC in the summertime, I'm happy.
And the government pays for all that shit,
right?
See, and I don't.
But there has to be a vetting system. I mean, and
it's a horrible system.
It's going to be one that they can just walk into a fucking test and flunk on purpose, so that their IQ is below a certain standard, and you fake a limp or something when you walk in. And I got sciatica, and I don't know.
I don't know how things are. I don't know how things were in 1964, and I don't know how things were in 1974. I kind of remember 1984. I was 15, 16 years old, so I really didn't, it was a different world when we live in now. But I can't imagine in 1974, if you were unemployed living in the projects and people were looking for work and you weren't working, that you walked into the grocery store and everybody didn't look at you like you were a fucking loser. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nowadays, if you don't work and you get government money and you pull out the old fucking Lone Star card to buy your groceries, nobody thinks nothing of it.
Yeah.
I personally, if I had to use a food stamp to buy my groceries, I would fucking not eat probably because I'd be embarrassed.
See there, Jeff? Maybe that's what you need to do. Just lose all the weight organically. Just go on welfare.
Would you not be embarrassed to have to use a welfare card?
Yeah. Okay. So this time of death, 14,000 were 20 years old. 18.
No, what I meant was, I wonder how many people serving in Vietnam were. I wonder what not even serving in Vietnam. I wonder what the percentages of kids drafted in 1968 were. Because like today in the military is all I want to know. I wonder if 37% of everybody that was 18 years old had to serve in the military were drafted, or I wonder if it was 60% or 20% is all I'd like to know. I wonder what the percentages of kids were drafted in 1968.
That would just be draftees, and it would be 1/3.
So 33% of all people got drafted into the military.
This one says 25%.
So
648,000 were drafted,
Okay.
according to this stat.
So 1/4 of every kid that graduated from high school is going to get drafted.
Right.
That's what I meant. I wonder what the percentage is now. Nowadays, serving in the military, I'm going to bet it's less than 5%. Nobody's drafted. Just how many kids end up going into the military? I'm going to bet it's 5%.
Oh.
Of
Well,
today's.
this is draftees.
No. We're not drafting no more. Back then, that's
I know,
what I know.
I understand. But yeah, 25% went in.
1/4 of all the kids
Were
that graduated
drafted
high schools
into
got
Vietnam.
drafted into Vietnam. 1/4 of all the kids. That's what I'm curious. Nowadays, we got 5% probably going to the military, and it may not even be 5%. It might be 1%. I think Payne told me one time that 1% of the population serves in the military. Regardless of what it is, you may be onto something that's what it's going to take for our world to catch back up and people start being accountable for themselves. Because there's nobody accountable. After World War II was over, if you come back and you didn't want to do shit, there wasn't nobody going to hand you money.
Mm-mm. According to the census, this is 2000, so it's 20 years old, but I don't see anything more. Roughly 0.5% of the population, so less than 1%.
Sign up for the military these days.
That's 20 years old. So
well, that's probably pretty close, though. I bet it might be worse even. So,
the share of the U.S. population is declining. 2018, this says 7% were veterans, so that means that they had. But that's just all that's taking all veterans. So it was down in 1980. 18% of the population was veterans, was a war veteran. 2018, that was down to 7%.
We need accountability with young people. And the thing is, we're preaching to people whose kids are accountable. I put on there the other day that, in Ukraine, I saw where they, all those kids signed up to fight for their country.
Mm-hmm.
People everywhere did.
Yeah.
Well,
would we see that in America?
I don't think so. If New York City was getting invaded today by France, which, that shit ain't ever going to happen, but by a foreign country invaded New York City, and people call to arms, sign up to fight, I don't have a lot of faith in the under 30 crowd. Now, I know some kids under 30 that would sign up. There's no doubt about it. But in the people I'm friends with, those kids would probably do it because they're raised different. But the average American kid nowadays, they don't give two shits.
The United States ended the draft for military service in 1973, transitioning to all volunteer force that exists today. At that time, the active component of the military, excluding the Coast Guard, comprised 1.9 million men and women, or about 1% of the population. Now, there are about 1.3 million active duty personnel, or less than 0.5% of the U.S. population. That's from CFR.org.
Okay, that's probably pretty damn close and accurate then.
And that is a year old.
Okay, so there's just not that many people serving like they used to be.
0.5% of the population.
Those people that are in the military, I don't care what their background is, they've learned discipline.
Sure. And when they retire from the military, they will become good citizens.
Whether they spend,
they'll be active citizens for what we got going on here.
Whether it's 4 years or 25 years,
right?
They're gonna no matter how long they serve, they've learned some discipline, and they've learned some work, and they had to work, and they had to grow up. Now, their kids should learn some of that from their parents also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there will be a trickle-down effect. There will be a generational effect just by the discipline that they've gotten in the military. But I don't know, and I don't even know how we got onto that. But the boy crisis and men not having a sense of purpose, and we've traded muscle for machine is what this guy says. So a lot of truth to it. And like I said, with the preaching of go to college and not vocational school.
How many people? I'll give you another quick tidbit, and I don't even know the numbers on it. When I was a kid growing up, every kid knew what a shovel was.
Yeah.
And a pick and a hoe. Every kid. And every kid had to use one of them sometime in their life. And their dad did.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids today that are 14 years old have had to use one of those tools?
I can tell you, just on my career as a hunting guide, that number is shrinking. Because we don't dig very often, and we don't dig like we used to years ago, but there were a couple times this year where we did like the little butt pillow where we would dig out and put the dirt like behind you. They don't know how to use a shovel. They think that they can muscle it with their arms. And many times, like I said, we didn't do this very often, but there were always a couple kids in each group. I'd be like, listen, if you use your foot, it will be a whole lot easier for you. But they just try to upper arm strength it and do this. And I mean, back 10 years ago, whenever we would introduce the shovel to the spread, everybody knew how they were going to dig. You'd catch the occasional guy trying to.
But everybody knew how to use a fucking shovel.
They'd press down and, use the lever action. Every once in a while you see a city slicker and he'd try to upper arm it and use all arm strength. And you have to go up to him like, listen.
This ain't a snow shovel.
I understand. Yeah, like you're going to need to press with your foot. But yeah, and we didn't even use shovels very often, and I had to go up to kids and be like, you're going to get a lot farther faster if you use your foot.
Now, I saw a video the other day, a guy using a T-post driver.
Oh, and
was beating it.
Like a hammer?
Yeah. What the fuck, buddy?
Those suck.
Kids,
they suck.
We
bad.
need more farm kids.
Oh yeah, big time.
I mean, we've gotten kids out of the farm. Everybody lives in the metropolitan area. We need country kids again.
We need that good old country boy.
Country kids can get by a lot better. We have the same issues with country kids you have with big city kids, but it seems like they have work ethic.
Elon Musk shared a stat. So I guess there's going to be a major population decline by the end of the century. Major. Because we're already below the replacement threshold.
Well, that's not a bad thing. We're not going to have no workers, though. And you've told me that, and I've thought more and more about that, and you're right. 10 years from now, that's a lot of our problems right now, too, is there's no service people anymore. There's nobody knows how to do anything. There's nobody wants to work. 20 years from now, we're really going to be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who's going to take care of the old people?
The good thing is if I can teach my kids a little bit of discipline and how to, create something and work hard, they're going to have a big leg up because there's just not going to be a whole lot of people, and especially their grandkids. But as this, I'll pull up Elon's, the article that he shared. But it's frightening tale by the end of the century.
Yes, it is. All right, let's get off here.
We're an aging population that is not getting married and not having kids anymore. So, all right, we got to go. It sounds like I got a sick kiddo. Jameson's got a fever.
Uh-oh.
He's got to poop.
All right. God bless you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Go check out all of our sponsors. Check out Steak Plains Meat, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Gun Dog Outdoors, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Lucky Duck, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear Waders, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, and Alpha Outdoors.